America is cracking, and you can hear it in the silence of people's minds. We are living through the biggest mental health crisis that this country has ever seen. Not because people suddenly became weaker, not because these generations are just too soft, but because survival itself has become unaffordable. It costs too much to exist here. The rent eats your paycheck. The groceries rob you blind. The gas, the water bill, the light bill keeps going up month after month after month, but your wages stay the same. The medical bills bury you alive. The student loans chase you into the grave. And even something as simple as eating 3 meals a day becomes a luxury. This country has made basic survival feel like a crime, and the punishment is stress that never ends. People already wake up behind, already in debt, already exhausted before their feet even hit the ground. You're literally in a fight or flight moment from the second that you open your eyes, the moment that you check your bank account, or that little reminder, that notification that pops up telling you how much is in your balance. It's the moment that you realize that you still have 5 days left in the month, but you only have 2 days worth of money in your account still. And they call that normal. But what is normal about living in constant panic? What's normal about your stomach being in knots because you just got an email from your landlord about the rent? Or because your job cut your hours? Or because the goddamn eggs went up in price at the grocery store? What's normal about being one accident, one sickness, one breakdown away from disaster? And here's the truth that nobody wants to admit. There's no real solutions for the average everyday American anymore. Therapy? That's a luxury for people with good insurance, and most people don't have that. And even if you do, good luck finding an available therapist. The waiting lists are months long, the sessions are short, and half the time, the therapist is just as burned out as you are. So what good is that? You want to talk about medication? Most of the time, that's out of reach, unless you got that kind of money. And even when you can't afford it, the system treats you like an addict just because you need some help. And community support? Well, that's been gutted too. Churches are closing. The community centers are underfunded. Extended families are stretched thin. The very networks that used to keep people grounded are being torn apart. And don't get me started on the jobs. These jobs don't cover enough. These jobs don't even cover the basics. You could work 40, 50, 60 hours a week and still be broke. Especially if you're taking care of a family. Especially if you are a provider. You're working all them hours and you still have to choose between the groceries and the rent. Essentially, you're just hustling just to stand still. And the politicians? All they do is argue about culture wars while their people are drowning. While the people who voted for them are suffering. And another thing, they can always find billions for bombs, but never any money for bread. They can always fund the prisons, but they can't fund hope. The machine has no answers because it is the cause itself. So what happens when people are left without solutions? They break silently. Anxiety becomes constant. Depression becomes the baseline. Panic attacks become as normal as breathing. Families start to fracture under this weight. Marriages collapse. Friendships dissolve. Addiction rises. People start to self-medicate with pills, with alcohol, with other drugs. People try to find ways to numb themselves to the fact that they are existing in a society that does not care if they live or die. And the cruelest part of the whole thing is that this system turns around and blames you. It tells you to go meditate, to write in your journal, to drink more water, to do yoga, as if you can stretch your way out of eviction, as if you can breathe your way out of medical debt, as if gratitude would make the groceries cheaper. So no, this isn't a self-help problem. This is a systemic death grip. The truth is, America has abandoned its people. And when a nation abandons a people, the minds of those people begin to rot under the pressure. America talks about freedom, but what freedom is there really if the only thing that is guaranteed is stress, despair, and the slow collapse of your mind? What freedom is there when there are people out here working 2 or 3 jobs just to live in an apartment with no furniture in it? When parents are skipping meals so that their kids can eat? When people have to choose between insulin or rent, heat or food, life or survival? This is not freedom. This is captivity. This is economic slavery dressed up as democracy. And now we're watching the fallout. We are seeing record levels of depression, record levels of anxiety, record levels of self-unaliving. People don't even announce it anymore. They just quietly disappear. The burden is just too heavy. The silence is too loud. The hopelessness is too deep. And we are literally watching an entire generation lose faith in the future. Young people don't dream anymore. They just survive. Middle-aged people are just collapsing under the weight of the bills. The elders are working until death because retirement is a fantasy. It's not because humans are failing. It's because the system was designed to break them. This is America's great shame. The richest nation in the world where people can't even afford their own mind. And the saddest part, there's not even any more illusions of a solution. The average person knows that deep down, that no politician, no corporation, no government, no program is coming to save them. And that is why despair is rising. That is why the mental health in this country is collapsing. Because the only thing that this country offers is to work harder, when working harder is what broke us in the first place. That's what got us here, to being burnout. That is the core of the crisis. That we just don't have anything else left to give. So what happens next? We're watching it unfold already. People are starting to disconnect from society. More people are dropping out of the system entirely. More people are breaking publicly, are acting out publicly because they've been left with no way to cope. Others suffer quietly, just living day by day, living lives of quiet desperation, holding in the screams, pretending that they're fine while they crumble on the inside. But you can't hide this forever. A mental health crisis this big becomes a social crisis, and the social crisis becomes a political crisis, and the political crisis becomes a collapse. That's where we're heading. That's the truth that nobody wants to face. So here's the message. If you're struggling right now, you are not weak. You are not broken. You are not lazy. You are living in a system that is designed to crush you. A system that profits off your despair, off your exhaustion, off your silence. The mental health crisis in America isn't an accident. It's a byproduct. It's what happens when you treat human beings like disposable labor. When you raise the cost of living beyond reach. When you strip away these safety nets and replace them with slogans. This is not weakness. This is the predictable collapse of the human mind under inhumane conditions. And until that truth is faced, this crisis will only get worse. So no, America is not okay. The people in America are not okay. The smiling faces, the filtered pictures, the small talk. It's all a mask over the reality that everyone here is hanging on for dear life. And the question that should terrify the people that are in power is this. What happens when everybody snaps? Because when the mind has nothing left to lose, when the spirit has been pushed past the point of breaking, people just don't suffer anymore. They act. They do something about it. And that's the storm on the horizon that America refuses to see.